So these are reasonable demands, and Hamas refuses to accept them. So Israel is justified in continuing the war. So in that sense, it actually reduces some of the pressure on Israel, and it unites the Arab world to the extent that they're part of this deal. It unites the Arab world behind Israel in continuing to fight Hamas. Now, it doesn't actually say that explicitly, but since it does say that the Arab world is on board with all of the other post-war plans in the agreement, and the text of the agreement doesn't require Israel to end the war or put a Palestinian state first or anything like that, it basically means that the rest of the Middle East is now joined with Israel in demanding that Hamas accept the terms of the deal, that they choose statehood, and that if they don't, Israel can continue to fight. The other thing it does, and this is really important to understanding how this gets sold to the Israeli public, is it allows Netanyahu to go home and say, I got a deal on the table that releases all the hostages. This is a deal to release all the hostages. I did the very best I possibly could. I agreed to end the war within 72 hours if they agree to release all the hostages. There it is. He knows that Hamas is very unlikely to accept these terms. And so it allows him political cover, really, to continue the war. He believes, I think, that the only way to guarantee Israel's security is to get rid of Hamas entirely. This deal allows him to say he did the very best he could to achieve some kind of agreement that would stop the war as long as the hostages were released, and that Hamas still rejected it, and therefore that's why the war has to continue. Not because he turned something down, but because he put something reasonable on the table and they just walked away from it.
So, okay, so we got a couple of scenarios here, and let's game them out. So first of all, Hamas agrees to a deal. So what does that mean they're agreeing to? Obviously, the hostages have got to return, the fighting will stop, and the Arab world and the United States, I imagine, will be a part of this, will come together and start building up Gaza Lago or whatever it's going to be. But then what's Hamas's role? Who governs Gaza Lago?
Right, so Hamas is excluded from government under this deal. And
so why would they go along with the deal then?
Because otherwise they die. So that's essentially what happens. I mean, as Netanyahu said in the press conference, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. You can agree to this, and then you get to live in, Riyadh for the rest of your life or something. Or you can fail to agree, and then we're just going to fight you and get what we want anyway, and you're going to die.